Good day, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about finding interest rate and time in compound interest. Now, in finding the number of periods or in symbol that is n for compound interest, we are going to use this formula. Using the formula for maturity value, present value, and interest rate, which is F, P, and J. So we have here F. There should be a P in here and J, and N here stands for M times T, the number of conversion or the frequency of conversion times time. Then, from this formula, we will make it like this. The logarithm of future value is equal to the logarithm of the principal times the quantity of 1 plus j raised to n. And that is equal to n logarithm of 1 plus j. Thus, it makes n is equal to logarithm of f divided by m logarithm of the quantity 1 plus j. Now, let's have an example. How long will it take 3,000 pesos to accumulate 3,500 pesos in a bank savings account at 0.25% compounded monthly? Now let's have first the given. The given values, we have the principal, which is 3,000. The future value is 3,500. Our annual rate is 0.25%, or in decimal form 0.0025, and the conversion or frequency of conversion is 12 because it is compounded monthly, so 12. And our J here is equal to the annual rate divided by the frequency of conversion. We have 0.0025 divided by 12. Now, we are going to find N and T. We are going to find N first in order to find the time. So, we have here the solution. First, substitute the given values in the maturity value formula. This is our formula. F is equal to P times the quantity of 1 plus J raised to N. So, we are going to substitute the values. The future value, we have 3,500. The principal is 3,000. Our J is 0.0025 divided by 12 raised to N. Ang paitaon na to si N, ang value ni N. So, first thing, we need to isolate si N lang ang mabilin diri nga side sa equation. So, first, i-divide na to both sides by the principal. Atong principal is 3,000. I-divide na to si 3,000 diri, and also on the other side of the equation. So, this is 3,000 divided by 3,000 sa duha ka side sa equation. Okay, now let's proceed to step number 2. To solve for n, take the logarithms of both sides. So, we stop here on the previous slide. Diri tataman, dapat si n ma-isolate na to gara na side. Only sa isa ka side sa equation. So, first, we're going to take the logarithms of both sides. So, we write logarithm on both sides. Next, si n na exponent, pwede siya masulat dari tapat ni logarithm. So, basically, kani siya, parehas na siya, equal na sila. So, dividing 3,500 to 3,000, we have 1.166 and so on. And also, we need to divide 0.0025 divided by 12. So, we have here the result. Next, i-add na to si 1 and 0.002 and so on. So, we will have 1.00 copying this on the other side of the equation. Now, the next step is dapat si n na lang yun ang mabilin ani nga sides equation. So, we need to divide both sides ani niya. So, dividing logarithm of 1.00 on this side and also on this side. Parehas. Kung unsay gi-divide di ari, mao po i-divide na to dire. So, we have here This one. This is where we stop. So, kay na-divide man nato sila, dere, if we divide the same number numerator and denominator, we can easily cancel that one out, leaving the n. So, si n na lang ang nabilin. So, we have logarithm of 1.166 and so on, divided by 1 logarithm of 1.002 and so on. So, if we divide that one, we will have n is equal to 740. Now, looking for time, we need to divide n by m. The n here is this one, 740, and m is our frequency of conversion, which is 12. So 740 divided by 12, that is 61.67. That is our time. Thus, the payments must be made for 740 months or 61.67 years. Let's have example number 2. How long will it take 1,000 pesos to earn 300 if the interest is 12% compounded semi-annually? So, we have the given here. Our principal is 1,000, and of course, our future value is 1,300. Of course, the earned interest is 300, and our principal is 1,000. So, adding this, we will have a future value of 1,300. Next, we also have the annual rate of 12% or 0.12. Our conversion periods is 2 or frequency of conversions. And also our J here is 0.12 divided by 2. So we need to find N and of course T para makuha na to ang time. So, solution, first thing that we're going to do is substitute the given values in the maturity value formula. So this is our formula again. So tanang given values, i-substitute lang nato dira. So we will have 1,300 is equal to 1,000 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.12 divided by 2 raised to n. Again, si n, wala tay value ni n, siya atong gipangita. So, first thing, we need to divide both sides by 1,000 para hinay-hinay si Endra ang mabilin di ari nga sides equation. Since 1,000 divided by 1,000 is 1, we can cancel that out. And what remains is this one. So, mao na lang ni ang nabilin. So, we have 1,300 divided by 1,000 is equal to the quantity of 1 plus 0.12 divided by 2 raised to n. The next step is to take out or take the logarithms of both sides. So, tagaan ang both sides of all logarithms. Next, si exponent n, i-rewrite nato siya, itapan nato siya ni logarithm because this is the same as this one. So, nabuhat na nato, we need to divide this or diretsoon nato og transfer si logarithm to the other side. So, we will have this one. Logarithm of quantity 1 plus 0.12 divided by 2, i-divide nato both sides, leaving n alone. So, cancel that one. Si n na lang ang nabilin. So the final result, we will have the logarithm of 1,300 divided by 1,000 is divided to the logarithm of 1 plus 0.12 divided by 2 is equal to n. So si n na lang ang nabilin. This is the time na ato nang isolve dayon ang logarithms or i-divide ang numbers. So let's find n. So we have here, this is where we stopped sa previous slide. Ato i-divide si 1,300 divided by 1,000 and of course 0.12 and 2. So we have 1,300 divided by 1,000, we have 1.3. 0.12 divided by 2, that is 0.06. And i-add ni silang duha, that makes 1.06. Now, look for the logarithm of 1.3. and the logarithm of 1.06. And divide them. Now we have approximately n.4503. Now, there is no months, dili pwede nga, ang atong months is dili buo. So, i-round off na to siya. This will become 5. So, n is equal to 5. And looking for t, we have n divided by m is equal to 5 divided by 2. Since our frequency of conversion sa given is 2, we have 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2.5. Therefore, it will take 2.5 years for 1,000 to earn 300 pesos. Now, let's proceed to finding the interest rate or J in symbol per conversion period. Now, we have here the formula. Using the future value or the maturity value formula, present value and interest rate, we have this again. Then we need to take out the nth root of the future value. Thus, our j is equal to the nth root minus 1 using j is equal to I raised to m over m or annual rate divided by the frequency of conversion. Then we have I raised to m is equal to m times j. So, in application, let's discover how to apply the formula on the next slide. Now let's have example number 3. At what nominal rate compounded semi-annually will 10,000 pesos accumulate to 15,000 in 10 years? So let's find out the given. Here we have the principal of 10,000 and our future value is 15,000. Our time is 10 and our frequency of conversion is 2 since it is compounded semi-annually, and our n is equal to m times t, which is 2 times 10 is equal to 20. Okay, now let's find I raised to 2 or the annual rate. Now, for the solution, we need to follow this formula. So, tanang values na given, nato i-substitute. So, we will have 15,000 is equal to 10,000 times 1 plus j raised to 20. So, si j lang ang wala nato ara sa given. Wala tay value ni j. Siya atong pangitaon. Okay. So, we have this one again. Para ma bilin si j or ma-isolate si j's ani nga side sa equation, we need to divide both sides of the equation by the principal, which is 10,000. So, kana siya mawala. Which leaves us kani nga side si 1 plus j raised to 20 na lang. So, now let's proceed to next slide. So, that again, mo na nahitabo ka ganina sa previous slide. So, ang nabilin is only 1 plus j raised to 20. Now, unsaon pagpawala ni 20? Now, para mawala si 20, we need to raise both side of the equation og 1 over 20. So, naano tayo 1 over 20. And also here. So, reciprocal sa atong exponent na 20 is 1 over 20. 20 times 1, that is 20. 20 divided by 20, that is 1. So, ang mabilin na exponent the other side is only 1, leaving that equation. Now, how do we find the answer for this one? So, we need to divide 15,000 by 10,000. Pero, unahon na to balhin si positive 1 para si j na lang yun ang mabilin di ari na side na equation. So, mag-minus tag 1 para ma-0 di ari si 1 and also mag-minus po tag 1 na sa pika side sa equation para balance. Now, we have this one. Si j na lang yun. Now, how to solve this one? You need to divide 15,000 by 10,000. That will give us 1.5. Now, in solving this one, we can solve this by extracting the nth root of 1.5 or the 20th root. So, mo ni ang nahitabo. the 20th root of 1.5 minus 1. Now, if you solve this one, you will have 1.0204801536495. Mao ni ang value ni 1.5 kung makuha na to ang iyang 20th root. Minus 1 is equal to j. Now, pag i-minus na to si 1, that will give us j is equal to 0.0205. Tama lang ta sa ikaupat na decimal place, rounding off dadayon ta. So we have j is equal to 0.0205. So the interest rate per conversion period is 2.05%. Now let's solve for the nominal rate of the problem. The nominal rate or annual rate of interest can be computed by this formula. So our M and the given is 2 since the problem is compounded semi-annually. So J, we have the value of J of 0.025 and our M is 2, replacing all the variables with 2. Walay labot si I. Since si I ang atong gipangita or the annual rate. Next is 2. Para mawala ang denominator ni 2 di ari ni I, only I ang mabilin ani nga side sa equation, we need to multiply both sides by 2. And by multiplying, nawala na dahil si 2. Ang nabili na lang dahil is I raised to 2. So we have this one. Now let's multiply this so we can have the annual rate. So we have 2 times 0.025, we have 0.0410. So I raised to 2 or the annual rate is equal to 4.10%. Hence, the nominal rate is 4.10%. Okay, now let's have another example. At what interest rate compounded quarterly will double the money in 10 years? So we have the given. Our future value is 2 times P. That means 2 times the principal. So kaduhaon si principal, that is our future value. Our time is 10. Our M or the frequency of conversion is 4 since this is compounded quarterly. And our N is M times T. So we have here M, which is 4, and our time is T. We have 4 times 10 is 40, so N is equal to 40. So let's find the annual rate. Now, for the solution, we need to use the formula, the maturity value formula, and substitute given sa formula. So we have F, mahimo siyang 2P, and our principal is P alone since we don't know the value. And 1 plus J raised to 40. Our N is 40. Now, we need to eliminate the principal 1 and the exponent 40. Dapat si J ray mabilin di aring side. So, we need to divide both sides by the principal. Since pareho sila nga naay principal dere sa numerator and denominator also sa other side sa equation, pwede na nato siya ma-cancel out. So that will happen. Ang nabilin si 2 and of course this part here. So let's proceed to the next slide. So, continuation. Ang nabilin sa atong previous slide is only 2 and this one. Next thing that we're going to do is to transfer the exponent 40 the aring side. So how will we do that? Multiply both sides of the equation by its reciprocal. So ang reciprocal ni 40 is 1 over 40. Also, 1 over 40 ang i-multiply na to dira, diari po niyo side para balance. So 40 times 1, that is 40. 40 divided by 40, that is 1. So ang nabilin is this one. Ana na lang, pwede na ni mawala si 40 dira, only 1 ang nabilin, pwede na siya dili isulat. Next is to transfer 1. So 1 minus 1 para ma-0. Kay nag-minus ka diri, mag-minus ka diri para ma-transfer si 1. So Ang nabilin is that one. Si J na lang, and also this one. Pangitaon na to ang 40th root of 2. The 40th root of 2 minus 1 is equal to J. So, ang 40th root of 2 is 1.0174 and so on and so forth. Minus 1 copy is equal to J. If we are going to minus this one or subtract, nabilin is 0.0175. So, we have here the value of J, which is 0.0175. Now, the interest rate per conversion period is 1.75%. That is per conversion period. But what is the annual rate? The nominal rate or the annual rate can be computed by using the formula J is equal to I raised to M divided by M. Now, our J here is 0.0175 and our M is 4 since this is compounded quarterly. Now, we need to multiply both sides by 4 para mawala ang denominator na 4 and ma-isolate ni si annual rate. So, i-multiply na to siya, both sides by 4. So, pwede siya mawala, leaving the annual rate alone sa aning nga side sa equation. So, mo na yung nabilin. Now, let's multiply 4 times 0.0175. That remains 0.07. So we have the annual rate of 7%. Hence, the nominal rate or annual rate is 7%. Now, let us first define some terms in order to proceed to the next topic or the next discussion. So we have here equivalent rates. Equivalent rates are two annual rates with different conversion periods that will earn the same maturity value for the same time or term. So equivalent rates, parehas sila nga annual rates, pero lahi-lahi og conversion periods. Okay, the next one is the nominal rate. Nominal rate is an annual interest rate that may be compounded more than once a year. And the last one here, we have effective rate. Effective rate is a rate when compounded annually will give the same compound each year with the nominal or annual rate. And that is denoted by I raised to 1. In order to apply the terms discussed on the previous slide, let's have example number 5. What effective rate is equivalent to 10% compounded quarterly? So, the given we have here, our annual rate, which is 0.10. Our M, or the frequency of conversion, is 4. And we need to find the effective rate, which is I raised to 1. So, in our solution, we need to know that the equivalent rates yield the same maturity value. So, our future value 1 is equal to our future value 2. So, we need to use this formula in order to identify the equivalent or effective rate. So, para ma-isolate si P, we need to divide both sides by P. Ang nabilin is this one. 1 plus I raised to 1 times T is equal to what? Quantity of 1 plus I raised to 4 divided by M times M raised to T. Now, if we need to raise both sides by 1 over T, we are going to obtain this one. Para mawala si T, ato i-multiply both sides by 1 over T. So, morning nabilin. Our M is 4. Our I raised to 4 or annual rate is 0.10. Our conversion periods or frequency of conversion is 4. So, we will have this one kung atong i-divide ang duha. We have 0.025. Next, we are going to add this one, C1, and 0.025. So, we have 1.025. The next one is to look for the answer kung ang 1.025 erase na to 4. So, we will have this one. Pero, before nato buhaton, kinahanglan nato i-isolate kani siya kay kani man natong gipangita. So na may 1, mag-minus tag 1 diri nga side, also mag-minus tag diri nga side. So we have 1 minus 1 is 0, pwede na dili isulat. Ang nabilin is 1 I raised to 1. So mo na itong ipangita. And on the other side, we have this one. So ang ato nang i-raise si 1.025 to 4 para makita na to what will happen. So 1.025 raised to 4 is equal to 1.103812890625. And also, copy minus 1. If we are going to minus 1, ani nga value, ang mabilin is 0.103812890625. That is our effective rate. Or, the effective rate equivalent to 10% compounded quarterly is 10.3813%. Okay, now let's have example number 6. What effective rate is equivalent to 12% compounded monthly? Now we have here the given. Our annual rate is 0.12 because of 12%. Our frequency of conversion is 12 because the problem is compounded monthly, and we need to find the effective rate. So in our solution, we need to remember that equivalent rates yield the same maturity value, and that will always lead us to the future value 1 is equal to the future value 2. And we are going to use this formula. Again, we need to divide both sides by P since wala tayo value ni principal, and to isolate P. And also, we need to, so mo na ni siya resulta pag ato i-divide si P on both sides. And also, we need to walaon na to si T. We need to raise both sides to 1 over T para mawala ang exponent na T, and we will obtain this one. So, nawala si T, only si M ang nabilin. That's why we have the value M here, which is 12. Mounting 12 siya. We have here M, annual rate rather, 0.12, and our M is 12. If we are going to divide 0.12 divided by 12, we will have 0.01. Next thing we're going to do is to add both numbers. So we have 1.01. Ang sunod, si 1 diri, atong ibalhin on the other side by subtracting 1 dari para ma-0. And since nag-subtract ta dira, mag-subtract po ta sa other side of the equation. So we have this one. Kanina lang nabilin si effective rate, and kani sila. So let's solve. 1.01 raised to 12 is equal to 1.126825030131 and of course we have the minus 1. If we are going to deduct 1 adding a value, our effective rate is equal to 0.1268250301319. So therefore, the effective rate equivalent to 12% compounded monthly is 12.6825%. Okay, as an activity, answer what is being asked. First, how long will a principal earn 50% of this amount at 6% compounded quarterly? Second problem is that Ethan must pay 15,500 to pay an obligation of 12,000 at 6% compounded monthly. When should this payment be given? The third one is that Cheryl is planning to invest 20,000 pesos. At what rate compounded semi-annually will accumulate her money to 25,000 in 3 years? And the last problem we have here, we have what nominal rate compounded monthly is equivalent to 12% compounded annually. Round off your answer to 6 decimal places. Now these problems, you're going to answer this on your own as your assignment or your homework. After that, we will have the answer on our next topic, or we will reveal the answers on our next topic. And that concludes our discussion. I hope you learned something with what we discussed, and thank you so much for watching. You may now enjoy your quiz.